I came home for Christmas and found an empty house, a crackling fire, and my 1-year-old grandpa sitting like a statue. On the counter was a note from my mom. We're in Europe. You stay and take care of grandpa. Meds are in the cabinet. Back the 31st. No call, no question. Just a decision made for me. A week later, they came back furious, and grandpa had a lawyer on speed dial. My family had been training me for this my whole life. I was a hospice nurse, so they treated me like the built-in staff. One Thanksgiving, mom said, "Grandpa's sick. You're a nurse. Handle it." They went to a luxury resort and posted, "Family is everything." When people asked where I was, mom replied, "She's home taking care of dad." Another time, they booked a big birthday trip and left me out again. "Grandpa has an appointment," mom texted. "You're free that week, right?" The appointment took under an hour. I spent the rest of the week staring at their smiling vacation photos, feeling stupid for still hoping. The worst was my best friend's wedding. I was a bridesmaid, dress bought, hair booked. 8 days before, my dad said, "We got invited to the CEO's daughter's wedding. 3 seats." Then mom added, "Tell your friend grandpa's sick. She'll understand." Grandpa wasn't sick. I left my friend a voicemail the night before her wedding. She answered back, "I understand. No heart, no softness." That was the day I finally got the message. So on December 17th, when mom called, I already knew. "We're doing Europe for Christmas," she said. "Come home tomorrow and take care of grandpa." I'd worked 11 straight night shifts to earn that week off. I said, "I requested this months ago." She snapped, "Taking care of people is literally your job," and hung up. When I walked in the next day, grandpa watched me read the note. He asked, "Have you ever been angry at them?" I tried to shrug it off. "I'm used to it," I said. He nodded once and said, "Good, then we can begin." I did what I always did. I logged his meds and checked his blood sugar. I cooked simple meals. Meanwhile, my family posted champagne, ski slopes, and fancy dinners. Every time someone asked, "Where's Mia?" my mom replied, "She's home taking care of dad. Someone has to." Something in me went quiet, and I was done. On Christmas Eve, grandpa told me to open an envelope on my desk. Inside was a check and a letter. He wrote, "I've seen everything. I'm not a poor man. I'm leaving most of it to you." I went downstairs with shaking hands. Grandpa sipped coffee and said, "About 20 million. And no, they don't know. New Year's Eve, my parents and my brother rolled in with suitcases and attitudes. My dad asked, "Do we have any beer?" My mom asked grandpa if he was fine. Nobody looked at me like a person. Grandpa just said, "Be here tomorrow at 10. A lawyer is coming." The next morning, the lawyer opened his briefcase. Then he said, "The estate is worth 20 million. Next, my brother laughed, then stopped laughing. Then my mom's coffee froze in midair. After that, my dad stood up, face turning red. Then the lawyer read, "To Mia, 15.2 million. Next, he said, "To the rest of you, 0. Then 8 seconds passed, and nobody breathed. My brother pointed at me and shouted, "She poisoned you against us." Mom grabbed my hand and whispered, "Sweetheart, you'll fix this, right?" I pulled away. "I haven't decided anything," I said. Grandpa opened a worn notebook and started reading dates like a judge. Thanksgiving, the appointment, the bridesmaid lie, the $32,000 Europe trip. He looked at them and said, "You treated her like hired help. Now she decides." Nobody had an answer for that. The lawyer explained their chance. They needed 200 hours of hands-on caregiving. They needed a real apology letter. They needed therapy, if I agreed. Grandpa's voice stayed flat. "This isn't about money. It's about whether you can see her." They did it like a checklist. Bare minimum hours, apologies full of "if you felt hurt," therapy sessions that turned into bargaining. The last thing my mom said in therapy was, "So you'll give us the money now, right?" Even the therapist wrote that they weren't sincere. Exactly 1 year later, I met them at the lawyer's office. I slid one page across the table. 3 names, 3 zeros. My brother slammed his fist. My dad hissed, "You can't do this. We're your family." I said, "You gave me the minimum for 10 years, so I'm giving you what you gave me." Then I walked out and went to see grandpa. He asked, "Do you regret it?" I said, "No." He smiled like he'd been waiting for that answer. "What would you have done in my place, honestly? Would you have paid them anything or kept it all?"